Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's October 11th, 2022 and Vero Brunati, the journalist who said that Lionel Messi will for sure come back to Barcelona in the summer of 2023, has backtracked on her statements. Also, several new options have emerged as possible replacements for Sergio Busquets. Amongst them are N'Golo Kante, Laimer and Enzo Fernandez. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Tomorrow is the day where Barcelona are going to face off against Inter Milan in the Champions League at the Spotify Camp Nou. And this is a must-win match for Barcelona. We're going to have to win if they want to qualify to the round of 16. Now the club have released the name of the players that have been called up for this match. And those players are Xavi Ter Stegen, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, Ousmane Dembélé, Pedri, Robert Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Marcos Alonso, Jordi Alba, Frank Kessie, Sergi Roberto, Frenkie de Jong, Rafinha, Eric Garcia, Iñaki Peña, Balde, Marc Casado, Gavi, Pablo Torre, and Arnau Tenas. Now, Frank Kessie has been declared fit and he has been included in tomorrow's squad after recovering from the hamstring injury that he suffered against Inter Milan last week. Now, this is remarkable because it was initially expected that Frank Kessie would recover in 10 to 15 days, and the Ivorian midfielder, who's an absolute beast, has recovered much faster than initially anticipated. Now, despite early reports stating that Koundé could be declared fit for tomorrow's match, he has not been declared fit and he has been excluded from tomorrow's squad. However, the club are reporting that Koundé could be declared fit for a Clásico over the weekend. Now, Barcelona are going to have to go without one more center back, which is Xavi Ter, who Xavi had called up from Barca Athletic in order to join the first team with all the injured center backs that Barcelona currently have. However, Xavi Ter has been called back down to Barca Athletic because he's a fundamental player in Rafa Marquez's side. Now, there are several questions about how Xavi is going to choose his lineup for tomorrow's match. And I predict that he's going to pick Sergio Roberto in the right back position, given that Hector Bellerin, Jules Koundé, and Ronald Araujo are still injured. Now, in the center backs, I predict that Xavi is going to pick both Gerard Piqué and Eric Garcia, given that Barcelona don't have many options with Koundé, Christensen, and Araujo all injured. Now, there remains the question of who Xavi is going to start in the left back position, and I believe that Alejandro Balde has done more than enough to earn his spot, so I predict that Xavi could be choosing Alejandro Balde for the left back position. Now, in the midfield, Xavi is going to look to produce some more offense in the midfield. So I predict that he could be starting Frenkie de Jong, given that the Dutch midfielder's vision, passing, and intelligent runs to the box could accomplish Xavi's objective of increasing the offense in the midfield. Now, the other two midfielders, I predict that Xavi is going to pick Sergio Busquets, given that there is no natural replacement for him currently on the team, and we need that defensive midfielder who can hold the midfield in case of any counter attacks from Inter Milan. Now, the other midfielder will most likely be Pedri, who has shown time and time again that he's an undisputable starter in Xavi's team. Now, in the offense, there's no doubt that Robert Lewandowski is going to lead the offensive line, and I predict that Xavi could be starting Ansu Fati on the left wing, given that he had some good minutes against Inter Milan last week, and he showed some signs of attacking life in the last 20 minutes against Inter Milan in Italy. Now, there remains the question of who's going to start on the right wing, and that's going to be a toss-up between Dembélé or Rafinha, who at the current moment both are not playing that well, but I believe that Xavi does prefer Dembélé over Rafinha by a little bit, so I have a feeling that he's going to choose Dembélé. However, as I said, that could be a toss-up between Dembélé or the Brazilian player. But I would love to hear from you. What is your prediction for Xavi for tomorrow's lineup? So please leave a comment down below, giving me your thoughts and opinions. Now, in the press conference ahead of tomorrow's match, Xavi was asked about Inter Milan and his plan, and in regards to the Italian team, Xavi said, "We expect something very similar to what we saw in the other leg. They are very defensive. They are normally very far back in their defending with their block. We've been working hard in training to work them out better. I think we've improved a bit than the Barca we were in the last 15 to 20 minutes in Milan." Now, when asked about his plan, Xavi said, "We will go on the attack, but we have to try to be better. In the first half, we didn't understand the role of Rafinha and Marcos. We will change something to attack much better. We have to be more aggressive. Only 3 points matter. We have to be brave. Now, Xavi has touched on two important points. The first one is that Barcelona are gonna have to find a way to unlock Inter Milan's defense and gonna have to find a way to create space against a team that likes to park the bus and likes to defend with a low block. Now, the team is gonna have to use faster transition and have to try to move the ball faster around the field, because moving the ball from one side to side slowly like they did last match is simply not gonna work. Now, the team are also gonna have to rely on the triangulations and on combining better between players, especially the interiors and the wingers and Robert Lewandowski. Now, the second point that Xavi touched on is something that I discussed in a previous video, which is that misunderstanding between Marcos Alonso and Rafinha, where Alonso was making those deep runs on the left back position, and that left Rafinha in a position more of a false interior, which is something that he has never played in before, and as a result the Brazilian did not have much involvement in that match against Inter Milan in Italy, and he did have some good minutes when he was switched back to the right side. However, Xavi decided to sub him out 4 or 5 minutes right after that. Now, Xavi was asked about what kind of message he was sending to his players, and he said, "The message I'm giving you now is this is a final. We need to go for everything, be positive, and try not feel the pressure. The pressure is there for me as a coach, and I hope they enjoy the game. It's amazing seeing the Camp Nou full of our fans, something to enjoy. The atmosphere, the feelings, and if they win, even better. If they win the match, it will change the dynamic in the group." Now, as Xavi mentioned in his statement, Barcelona have announced that the match for tomorrow between Barcelona and Inter Milan have been completely sold out, and that is great news because the team are gonna need all the support from their fans as they look to defeat Inter Milan, because this is a must-win match if the team hope to qualify to the round of 16. Now, the club have also announced that they have initiated the protocols in order to investigate any club members who have put their season tickets up for sale, given that there have been reports of several club members currently doing that. Now, as you might remember, last season when Barcelona faced off against Eintracht in the Europa League at the Spotify Camp Nou, many club members sold their tickets to Eintracht fans, and as a result, more than 30,000 German fans invaded the Spotify Camp Nou, and that felt more of an away game than a home game. And after that whole fiasco, the club instituted some protocols, which they have reportedly activated this time around after several reports that club members have put up their season tickets for sale. Now, some of these protocols include investigating club members who have put up their season tickets up for sale, and also declining any ticket sales to credit cards that originate from Italian banks. Now, the club have also reported that they don't expect what happened against Eintracht to happen in tomorrow's match, given that only 38% of the 5,000 tickets that were designated for Inter Milan fans have been sold. Now, before we continue with the news, if you're currently enjoying the content of this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It would go a long way in helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Also, I have posted a poll in the community tab asking whether you would like to see timestamps in the video description with each topic discussed in every video. So please make sure to head to the community tab and answer that poll to see if that's something you would like to see in future videos. Now, on to the news that Vero Brunati has backtracked her statement about Messi's possible return to FC Barcelona. Now, Vero Brunati is an Argentinian reporter who's very close to Lionel Messi and his entourage, and last week she tweeted that as of July 1st, 2023, Lionel Messi was going to become a Barcelona player. Now, Vero Brunati was invited yesterday to a podcast in Barcelona, and she was asked about her statements and about whether Lionel Messi was going to 100% for sure become a Barcelona player next summer. Now, Vero Brunati backtracked her statements and said that nothing in life is 100% sure, and that what she was trying to communicate is that the club want Lionel Messi back and that they are working on accomplishing that goal. Now, Vero Brunati was also asked about whether her information came directly from Messi or his entourage, and she said that her information was coming from the club, that Barcelona were interested in bringing back Messi, and that they were working on accomplishing that objective. Now, as I mentioned in last week's video when I reported about this story, there is nothing confirmed about Lionel Messi, and any reports that states that Lionel Messi is gonna come back to Barcelona for sure is simply misleading, because Barcelona have confirmed multiple times that there are no direct communication between the club and Lionel Messi, and also Messi has confirmed that he is not gonna make any decision in regards to his future until after the 2022 Qatar World Cup. So if you see any reports suggesting that Messi is going to for sure come back to Barcelona, or even the opposite, that he's not going to come back to Barcelona for sure. Those reports are simply misleading, because as of now, we don't know what Lionel Messi is going to do, and we're not going to find out until after the World Cup, because the Argentinian player is currently focused on his season with PSG and on trying to win his last World Cup with the Argentinian national team. Now on to the news that Barcelona have reportedly reached out to N'Golo Kante's camp to try to see if he would be interested in coming to Barcelona. Now Barcelona are currently in the market looking for a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets, given that he could be leaving at the end of his contract in the summer of 2023. Now Kante's contract with Chelsea will also be up in the summer of 2023, and as a result, Barcelona have reached out to his camp to see if that French midfielder will be interested in coming to Barcelona as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now, as I reported in a previous video, N'Golo Kante's entourage have reported that the player prefers to stay in the Premier League and stay living in England. However, Barcelona reached out to his camp to see if they could change his mind, because they consider him as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets, given that Kante has played as a defensive midfielder before, and given that he'd be arriving in the club as a free agent. Now, another player that could be arriving as a free agent as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets is Konrad Laimer. Now, Laimer is a 25-year-old defensive midfielder that currently plays for Leipzig, and his contract will also expire in the summer of 2023. Now, as a result, it's reported that Barcelona are keeping tracks on Laimer to see if he could be a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now, on to the news that Barcelona are keeping tabs of Enzo Fernandez. Now, Fernandez is a 21-year-old Argentinian midfielder who currently plays for Benfica. Now, Barcelona had the chance to sign Enzo Fernandez before he arrived in Benfica for 50 million euros. However, they decided that they weren't convinced to pay that much money for the player. However, the player has now had a phenomenal season with Benfica, and even though he arrived in the summer of 2021, he has had a tremendous impact on the Portuguese club. Now, as a result, Barcelona are currently keeping tabs on Enzo Fernandez as a possible replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now on to the news that Barcelona are reportedly planning to sell one of their big players next summer. Now, given the club's financial situation, it's reported that Barcelona could be looking to sell one of their big players next summer in order to generate some cash. Now, no names have been released in this report. However, it's expected that Barcelona could try to sell Frenkie de Jong, given that they tried to offload him this past summer. Now, it would be no surprise if Barcelona ends up offloading the veterans of the club, such as Gerard Piqué, Jordi Alba, and Sergio Busquets with his contract expiring. However, offloading the club's veterans is not going to generate cash for the club, so it's most likely that Barcelona could be looking to sell another big player such as Frenkie de Jong. Now, we will end today's video with two brief updates. The first one is that Eric Garcia, who has played under Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique, and Xavi, made some interesting statements about Xavi in an interview that he did, and he said, "Xavi is a mixture of Guardiola and Luis Enrique. In the end, the idea of the game that the three have is practically identical. Each one has its nuance, but it is about pressing after a loss and the release of the ball. It is what has always characterized Barca." Now, the second update is that Ter Stegen has gone 624 minutes without conceding a goal. And he had previously beaten his own record, where he went 499 minutes without conceding a goal, and that record was achieved in the 2019-2020 season. Now, Ter Stegen will now look to break Claudio Bravo's record, where he went 722 minutes without conceding a goal. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, Visca Barça.